You can never have too many crafty tools. Simon Says Stamp brings to you a new scoring board tool. This tool comes packaged simply, just like this. To remove it from the packaging, you'll want to remove and pull back the plastic away from the paper and slide out the scoring board. The scoring board has a low, thin profile and is neutral in color. There are measurements marked all the way around the board. At the bottom and right-hand side, the markings are in centimeters. At the top and left-hand side, they are in inches. The scoring surface measures 5.5 by 7 1/8 inches and scores in increments of 1/8 inch. This tool comes with a simple bone folder that latches on at the very top and can be removed by sliding it to the right. This is a great bone folder to get you started, but you can also use it with other Simon exclusive scoring tools such as the Place and Score tool. The metal spherical tip at the end of this embellishment wand will help you glide across the paper as you move along a scoring track. Another scoring tool that we know and love is the Teflon bone folder. This tool is not only great for scoring but also for burnishing folds so that it doesn't leave your paper with a waxy look. This scoring board is perfectly sized so that you can make A2 sized cards, which are 4 1/4 by 5.5 that are side folded or top folded. In addition to making note cards, scoring boards are also useful for making rosettes, boxes, bags, and more. As you can see, I've used all 3 scoring tools to score my piece of paper here, and they all work well, but it's great to have options, and we've bundled the scoring board with either the Place and Score tool or the Teflon bone folder so that you can choose. If it bothers you that the measurements aren't really visible unless you look really close, I want to show you a quick and easy way to remedy that. All you need is some acrylic paint. I have a bottle of distress paint here in Salvaged Patina, and I'm going to squeeze out just a droplet full of paint onto my finger, and then I'm going to rub it into the markings on the sides where the ruler markings are. If you have a brush with a flat end, that works even better. You can get more precise and make sure that you don't get paint in the grooves that you don't want it to get into. You want the paint to sit fully inside the etchings of the measurements. You can work in larger sections, but I'm going to stop here just to show you an example. Then I'm going to take a wet cloth. This is a baby wipe, and it's perfect for this because you don't really want to wipe away all of that paint. You want the paint to sit inside the grooves of the measurement lines. So it's going to wipe away whatever's flat at the surface and then leave the paint inside those etchings. So let's do an example here at the top with the inch marks. Again, I'm applying a small amount of ink and making sure that that ink sits inside those etched numbers and markings. Then I'll use a baby wipe and wipe away the excess paint sitting at the top, flush with the scoring board. The best thing about this is that you get to use any color that you want, and because acrylic paint is water-based, if you mess up, you can go wash it off and start again. I can't speak for any staining over time once it sits for a while, but this definitely makes the measurements more visible. Here's a board that I did that to with the sides and top. I decided not to do the bottom centimeter markings, but the numbers are now easier for me to see and the markings are better identified. On the back side of the scoring board, there are instructions to make envelopes in various sizes. There are also etchings that help you emboss a little pattern onto any cardstock that you want. To emboss your cardstock, simply place your cardstock over the pattern that you want to replicate and use your scoring tool of choice to run over the area so that you can emboss the image from the back side. I'm using the Place and Score tool because I find that the spherical end of the wand really helps me burnish the paper into the debossed design of the scoring board onto the paper. Now I want to walk you through how to make an envelope using the instructions on the back side of the scoring board. To start, you want to select your card size. Now I want to make an envelope for an A2 size card that's 4 1/4 by 5.5. And it says the paper size that I'm going to need is an 8 by 8, and we're going to score at 3.5. I have an 8" by 8" piece of patterned paper here that is patterned on one side. I'm going to align the paper left to the scale mark of 3.5 and then score. Next, the instructions say to rotate the paper 90 degrees clockwise. Then align the scored mark with the score guide. At the top left, there is a score guide that runs from the edge of the scoring board to the score line. So I'm going to make sure that my previous score line lines up with that score guide and then score again. Now I'm going to repeat steps 5 and 6. I'm going to rotate my paper 90 degrees, line it up at the 3.5-inch scale mark, and then score again. Now I'll align that score mark with the score guide and then score one last time. Now the instructions say to cut the notch and corner with scissors or a punch. I'm using my Cropadile corner rounder to round the corners on all 4 corners of the sharp edges of my envelope. Then to notch out those corners at the edges of the envelope, you can use a punch, but since I don't have one, I'm going to use scissors and trim out those notches. To avoid sharp edges, I'm intentionally rounding that corner and cutting towards the score lines where the 2 lines meet. Then I'll flip it over and then do the same on the other side so that I'm always cutting away from myself. Once those notches are cut, we can fold against those scored lines and burnish those folds to get our envelope. You can use any adhesive to hold down the flaps. I find that red line tape is great and reliable and will hold up well. Once the sides and bottom are secured together, we have an envelope. And if you want to secure it once you put a card in the envelope, you can use the same adhesive, or you can secure the top flap with stickers or even a seal. I hope you've enjoyed all the quick tips that I've shown you using the new scoring board. Its compact size really makes it easy to take along for traveling. You can put everything in your mesh bag, including your little projects, your scoring tools, as well as some other tools for traveling on the go. Be sure to also check out the bundle options to see which scoring tools best suits your needs. Thank you for watching today's quick tip video. We hope you found it helpful and can use it as a reference in the future to create your envelopes. Have a nice day, everyone. Bye.
I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at SimonsSaysStamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.